Good morning, first grade. I'm missing you, but it is Art Wednesday. So here we are. Last week I showed a picture of this and asked what you noticed in it. So we're just going to talk about it a little bit. Again, this is George Seurat who did the pointillism, which are the little teeny dots that put them together. So why this is pretty famous is he got in a little bit of trouble from the art world for this because it was one of the first pictures that really showed factory workers enjoying the river. And nay, that was not the place for them to be, nor was that appropriate subject matter for an artwork. They should not have factory workers, low people in society as a part of artwork. And you can see the little hint of factory working back here. But he did say it was really stinky when he did it, and it took a year to do this. So I do have with me my ping pong questions. So let's pull one out. Oh, okay. What is the foreground, middle ground, and background of this? Can you guys think about that? So foreground's what's closest, background's what's furthest away, and middle ground is what's in the middle. So I'd say the foreground would be the edge of the river right here. The middle ground would probably be this middle. If you see, the people here are smaller, which means they're further away than the people here. Further away they are, the smaller they are. Closer they are, the bigger they are. And then our background would probably be the sky and the factories, things you have to really look back there for. Okay, we're going to do a project using that foreground, middle ground, and background. Because it is springtime, I figured we'll do flowers. So I've been sort of on this kick with markers and watercolor. So I'm going to show you. We're going to do this project, and it's nothing really, you don't have to be too exact. It's kind of fun just to figure it out. So if I were to draw, I'm going to do sort of my foreground down here, my middle ground, my background, and then this is going to be my horizon. And horizon's where the sky meets the ground. So that's my horizon line. So even though there's foreground, middle ground, and background, we do put horizon in here too. So if I were to do my foreground, do you guys remember, are they the things in the foreground, are they bigger or smaller than the things in the background? That's right, they're bigger. So I'm just going to take my marker and just do a couple big circles. I'm going to do a flower field, by the way. So do these look like flowers? Not really. Don't worry, we'll get there. This flower, that big flower. I'm not being very careful when I do this, and that is okay, because I'll show you what we're going to change it around. Now, I'm going to do a flower down here that is off the edge. That's okay. Looks like you're actually standing in the field when you do that. Put a yellow flower because I like yellow flowers. Now, here's something. You don't really find too many blue flowers out there. There is the bachelor button or the cornflower, but other than that, not too many blue flowers. Let's see, I'll do one more. I'll do a pink flower. Now, this can also, don't worry, I'm going to go over top of my foreground line, and that's okay. All right, now, how about I do my middle ground? So my middle ground are going to be the flowers that are just a little bit smaller than those other ones. Oops, can't get my marker top back on. So again, just a couple little circles in here. I am going to go a little bit quicker with these. Apologies. I'll do a couple bachelor buttons in here. Again, I can go over top of my line right there. I probably should have pulled out all of my colors before I started this. Now notice the size. My polka dots or flowers are just getting a little bit smaller. Okay, now let's move on to my background. So my background are the smallest flowers that I have. So these dots are even smaller, kind of teeny. I can put a lot more in here because there's a lot more room. You guys hear that click on my marker top? So even though you're not in my classroom, take care of your own markers. Make sure you've got that click happening when you shut your markers. Ooh, I didn't put any orange in my middle ground. Okay, so here's another little art trick. The further things go back, like those in the background, the lighter the color of them they appear. Even though it's the same color, but because it's way back there, you're not going to see that definition or those bright, bright colors. So in that sort of vein, I'm going to keep my colors a little bit lighter back there. Just a few of these. Now, because this is a grass field or a flower field, I could go ahead and put green in there in between everything, but for right now, I'm just going to keep the flowers. All right, so if you have a paintbrush, you can grab a paintbrush and a little bit of water. If you don't have a paintbrush, no big deal. I am going to use Q-tips. Let's see how this works. And I'm just going to go over top of my marker. And I'm making watercolor. How cool is that? So if you're using the same Q-tip, try to do all of your colors at once. If you're going to maybe do dark colors, do your lighter of the dark colors first. And then so when you go to do, like for example, I'll do purple after this. My marker, or so, okay, let's see, we'll do purple. So now my colors, it's okay because purple is darker than the blue, that my colors won't smear or smudge together. I guess that's it on purple, huh? All right, I'm going to flip over. Again, I'm going to start with my lightest one, so I'll do my yellows first. Wow, so I just smeared in with my blue. I got to be a little careful. I'm trying to go quickly for you guys, just so you get the general idea. I'm going to switch over to my paintbrush for those of you who have a paintbrush, just so you get an idea what to do. Kind of blend that color out, wash it out. All right, so we've got our general idea now. I'm going to go back and start with the colors that I did first. So hopefully they'll be dry. When I said you could do a little green in there for the grass, feel free to. I'm kind of mixing my colors back here, and that's okay. And now look, I've got all this extra paint on my paintbrush that I can actually dot in extra flowers. So if you're doing this, please don't go this fast. I'm doing this just so the speed, work speed, just so you guys get a general sense of what to do with this. And again, if you're going to add grass, I'm just going to do that in my foreground. I'm not being really neat about it because I know this color will spread. Okay, for example, and it actually works best if you can color it and then paint it. Your marker won't dry out as quickly. Your ink that you put on the paper won't dry out as quickly. So it'll be able to turn into watercolor a little quicker. Okay, so see what happened there? I did wet on wet. My two wets touched each other and then they ended up blending. So that's why you want to go a little slower. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to let this whole thing dry. Except I can't really do that here. So while I let this dry a little bit, I'm going to show you some other flowers that I already did. So these are my blobs. And now I'm just going to take a marker and go over top of it and make my color. So do your flowers on there. So they could be any kind of petal you want. And if you notice, I went outside of these. So it'd be kind of cool if you did all of them, pick one color to do all your petals in. That would unify your picture, make it look like it all belonged together. But I'm just going to see what it looks like if I take orange on top of orange. And I'm making little U's going around. And look at this, I'm going outside of my color, and that's okay. That's okay. So now let's see what happens if I do orange on top of the yellow. That makes a pretty cool flower. And probably if I had done this one again, I would have picked a darker color to do on top. So that's my lesson I just learned. Can't really see the orange so well, so I am going to pick a color that is touching yellow on the color wheel, which would be orange. One of yellow's good friends is orange. So let's see why I'm doing this. You guys start to think about what color I should do with the purple. Think about what colors touch it on the color wheel. If I were going around, because purple is a secondary color, what two colors make up purple? Can you think about that? We've got our primary colors, yellow, blue, and red. What two of those colors do you have to use to make purple? That's right. It would be blue or red. So I think I'm going to try to do blue on this. Let's see what happens with blue in here. Let's see. I'm going to do little spikies. I like the blue on it, on the petals going around. All right, so you guys get a general idea of how to then color in your flowers. You're going to make sure they are dry first from your quote watercolor that we did. And then you're going to mark on top of it. So now look what happened. See what happens when I rush? My colors started blending together. So I probably should have slowed down, let these dry first, then went back and did the green. But so let's see what you guys can come up with. I'm going to pick a couple that, nope, not dry yet. Nope, not dry. Well, they're not really dry, but I hope they do end up getting drying out, and then I will show you my final project next week. I cannot wait to see what you guys come up with. All right, have fun with your flowers. We just did a little perspective. There's your art word for the day, perspective. We did a foreground, a middle ground, and a background, and then the horizon line. But this makes it look like you are standing right in front of this flower field and looking away from you. Pretty cool. All right, guys, have a great week. I miss you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.